What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more fighting. UFC 200, definitely a good card so far. I want to give my post-fight thoughts on Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar rematch. First, I want to say congrats to Cain Velasquez, who knocked out Ronda Rousey boyfriend Travis Brown in the first round. Now, Jose Aldo, I was impressed with his performance over Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar had all the momentum in the world coming into this particular fight. Jose Aldo, not the same luck. His last fight versus Conor McGregor, he was knocked out brutally in 13 seconds. So my question was really going to be how Jose Aldo responded to that psychologically. We know he's a skilled fighter, hell of an athlete, but it was a brutal knockout. So that was my biggest question, and he answered that question with this performance. Frankie Edgar even said before the fight that he feels when he first fought Jose Aldo, he was kind of inexperienced, he wasn't at the level. But since he had knocked out Chad Mendes and done a lot of good things, positive in his career and looked good, and like I said, had the momentum, he felt that he was in prime, and Jose Aldo, who just got knocked out, wasn't in prime. But that wasn't the case tonight. I gave all rounds except for the first round to Jose Aldo. He just landed the more telling, more impactful, sharper strikes. Round one, that's the only round that I gave to Frankie Edgar. The first minute or so was more or less a feeler round for both, but I think Jose Aldo may have had some cobwebs. I mean, he came off a brutal knockout to Conor McGregor, so I think he had some cobwebs where he wasn't as aggressive. So we pretty much seen a vintage Jose Aldo minus some aggression. Like in that round one, he seemed a little bit more patient, a little bit more tentative, and Frankie Edgar I thought was busier. But he did come on very strong in the last minute of round one, and he landed some beautiful stuff. I thought overall the duration of round one, more of it went to Frankie Edgar, but like I said, Aldo, he opened up towards the end. He had a vicious knee to the body and a good right, and that was kind of throughout the fight. As it wore on, Jose Aldo seemed more controlled. He seemed like he opened up and got looser. He started busting up Frankie Edgar's face, and he just, overall, he moved better. His takedown defense was excellent, and he controlled the real estate a lot better for my liking. So I gave him the remaining rounds 2 through 5, and he is the rightful interim champion. So this is very interesting news. We still got to see what happens in the rematch with Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Depending on what happens, if Conor loses again, I'm sure he's probably going to drop back down and at some point face Jose Aldo. So I like what I seen. He just looked sharper. His physique, he looked like he was in better shape. Good countering, sharp, like I said, takedown defense. When I watched the Conor McGregor fight, you have to just watch the body language before that fight. Aldo to me looked a bit shook, but he didn't really look like that. He just looked focused, like dialed in. It kind of reminded me of LeBron James after he lost the finals, and then the very next year he was just like meditating, reading books, and he just looked dialed in and locked in. So good performance by Jose Aldo. Frankie Edgar had a lot of momentum and he couldn't pull it off. His kicks and stuff, nothing really discouraged Aldo from what I seen. So I was impressed for that reason, because he definitely carried in more momentum into this particular fight, and Jose Aldo made it look actually easier than the first fight. And Edgar said that wasn't going to be the case because he felt he was in prime, but this was less competitive to me. I mean, Frankie Edgar showed heart, but it just, nothing he did had as much effect. And you look at the end of the fight, Aldo's face was very clean. Aldo just looked more in control at all times, while Frankie Edgar, his face looked like it was peppered and busting up and bleeding and cut, and he just looked more discouraged. So it's interesting to see what happened in a Conor McGregor rematch based on the Aldo we just seen. I don't know, because Conor McGregor is a lot more aggressive, and I think he's a big guy too. So that's a good fight. It's a good rematch. We'll see what happens in Conor's next fight with Nate Diaz part 2. Drop in the comment section. Congrats to Aldo. Let me know, where does Frankie Edgar go next. Share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.